Hey everyone, it's Solstice Fast Day 14 and the day of the full moon, which is a good day for healing. The full moon tends to test us in different areas, and this time the full moon was in, or is in, Gemini, which rules the thoughts, as it's an air sign, air is of the mind. The moon, I believe, is also of the mind, so it's very much a homely feeling today. Even earlier on, as I was spending time with my partner, we decided to switch from watching fast paced animes like the Shangri La Frontier and My Hero Academia or Jujutsu Kaisen to something more loving like the Grandma and Grandpa Turn Young Again or something. I've forgotten what it's called. I think it's written in Japanese anyway. It's Oba-san to Ji-san. I have to look it up what the rest is, but it's a very good time to be focused on healing. The moon is reflective of healing. The moon comes of the nighttime, the balance of day and night. Daytime is where you'd go out and do what needs to be done, get all of the work done, and put your body and mind under a lot of stress. So the evening and the night is where you manage to recover from that stress, unwind, and I think that's important. And it's also extra important during a full moon. So that's when you can get the most healing. It's when the powers are blessing us. So my theory anyway. It's got my space looking head noodle on. Try and pay homage in a way. I was wearing my orange pants earlier. Which, I'm not entirely sure why orange is associated with the moon, but I'm pretty confident that all of the other color associations are spot on. And orange was the one that was left, and moon was the one that was left. So I will find a link eventually. I'm pretty sure of it. Mars is obviously red. Then Mercury I put down as light blue because Mercury and Suiyobi link up as both being Wednesday, and Wednesday is Woden's day, which is Odin, and Odin means one in Russian, and the first element of the periodic table is water. So there would be the one, the link to water again. Then Thursday being green, as it would be the fourth day, and the fourth chakra is the green chakra. The fourth planet is Jupiter, which I believe has green parts on it. I might need to check that. Not entirely sure on that one. I did previously think that Venus was related to green, especially as five letters, but Venus, I believe, is the indigo, the darker blue, as Venus is the fifth day, comes just before the link to the fifth chakra, which is associated with the throat and communication. I think the vibrations are linked in a sense with the waters. Might have to look into further links in them ones. I can't remember what the other one is. Saturn is purple, obviously. That's the. It's also linked to indigo as well, but purple being one of the main ones that I've heard, as it's the crown chakra, And you get Coronos, who is another name for Saturn. You've got the sun, I associate with yellow, as it makes the most sense. The sun is shining bright and yellow. I think we've done them all. Yeah, I will do an in-depth video on that at some point. That's quite fascinating. Can't believe that I wasn't able to just list them off the top of my head. Yeah, hopefully this orange background will do for now, for homage to the moon. I was thinking a lot earlier about the nature of this place that we're in. It's something that it's clearly a world of duality, and we've more than likely been placed in a simulation. There's many different theories of what this could be, but some people get upset with the idea of it being a simulation. I think some people need something that's fixed to be able to believe in. You need a plot, otherwise you lose the plot, and then you don't know what is or what isn't. You have an existential crisis. And that can be quite difficult for people, and I don't really want to cause that in what I'm talking about. But I do touch on subjects that rock the boat a little bit when it comes to that kind of philosophy. And as Jupiter's in retrograde as well in Gemini at the moment, that's the philosopher. Might be worth sharing a little bit of the thoughts that I've been having that appear to be connecting with the moon and trying to heal some damage or potential damage. So the idea that Saturn is the god of this world, or the ruler of simulations, and we are in a simulation, that's not to take away from God. There is Saturn, the ruler of this world, who would be a god, but then there is the God, who is Source, who is far removed from all of this. The God would not be the sun, the moon, or any of the other luminaries in the sky. The God, our creator, would be above that. People have theorized that it would be the North Star, Polaris, but the creator is above all else and is all else. All of the gods in most pantheons that you look at that have polytheism have a shared belief that all of these gods came from one source. If you were to take the idea of infinity, which they say is too big for our brains to be able to comprehend, the idea of infinity is that God would be able to split himself into billions and billions of entities, meaning every atom that exists, every person that exists, and every God that exists. And if you wanted to take this a step further, you could look at string theory. Now, string theory, if you're not aware of it, I'm not going to explain it in a full-on scientific way. I'll explain it in the way that I had it explained to me when I was 19 years old. And it helped unlock certain parts of my mind. I felt tingling in areas that I'd never felt before, parts of my brain that I never felt had been used before. That was like the awakening of my right brain, starting to see the bigger picture. And I got deep into philosophy after that. I was bit of a science nerd as well. So the idea of string theory, it would be like everything that's happened in the universe from start to finish has happened in one reality, and in another adjacent reality, everything that happens from the start to the end of the universe happens exactly the same, except I had my hand here when I was just telling you that. Just that one subtle difference. And it doesn't have to be that difference. That's just an example. Might be that absolutely everything happened from start to finish, except that I didn't have a moustache, or wasn't wearing glasses, or never wore glasses, or that our government is not a glow in the dark invisibility cloak, that we actually have a ruling body that cares for everyone, rather than, as we see in the papers, taking away pensioners, heating, and numerous other things. I could list them, but this isn't really a channel about that. We all know what the government is. So it's the idea of string theory, that all of these different possibilities act out. A lot of people would see this more commonly in Marvel films, as I think a good percentage of them decided to just throw in the multiverse theory, where you get the same character wearing many different types of shirts and trousers. But what they're trying to get at is that you would have all of these different universes that all exist at the same time. There's even a saying like, of all of the multiverse possibilities that you could have had, of all of the Spider-Man multiverses, you happen to live in the one where he's a fictional character in a comic book, which is quite depressing if you think about it like that. But the takeaway, the idea of string theory and limitless possibilities, it would make sense, because infinity is far bigger than you can imagine at first glance. God would be able to split not just into billions and billions of people and gods and other things, but also billions and billions of possible realities. So therefore, once you have managed to connect back to source, your possibilities are limitless. When they say about babies being born with infinite potential, it's because all of us have the power to do this. We all have the power to be able to ascend and reach this goal. They say about opening the 7 seals, which I believe is the 7 chakras. They mention this in the Bible. Only the lamb and the lion are worthy enough to open the 7 seals. Well, the lamb is Aries, ruler of the head. The lion is Leo, ruler of the heart. It's only the conscious and passionate that will be worthy, that will be able to break those seals, because they're the only ones doing it for the right reasons. They're the only ones that will be considered worthy of making that jump. And I do see this as a little bit like other things that have put me off doing good deeds for religion in the past, like wanting a place in heaven, or a bigger house in Jannah, or having a better set of cards dealt to you in the afterlife. And I admit, when I first started getting into veganism, the idea of the chrism oil was quite enticing. and the Kundalini energy and rising it up my spine to be able to burst open my third eye and experience what I was experiencing when I was on acid and other psychedelics, but naturally rather than the bittersweet version, having the pure version. And it is, in a way, it still has its appeal, but that's not really what I aim for. I don't feel like I really have the kind of desires like that I used to. I've never really got on board with the idea of doing good things to get a reward. It helps. When you're young, it definitely helps. So yeah, I probably have enjoyed doing things for a reward, but it didn't sit right with me when it came to religion. I didn't like the idea of being good for the sake of getting something in return. I don't think that that's really the way that I want to do things. It's that kind of quid pro quo. I enjoy doing things that are good for the sake of it. It's like my mum always used to say, do you really need a book or a group of people to just be a good person? And truthfully, no, you don't. I mean, it helps, especially if you're surrounded by good people, if you're reading the good books. It'll help steer you back on path when you stray away. And this is very helpful, but it's not necessary. There's plenty of other things in this universe that will help guide you back onto that path if you've got the eyes to see and the ears to hear. You don't need a community of people, and especially not a community of people that are closed minded, people that are there for image, that are putting big donations in the collection pot, but not reading the book and understanding it for themselves. Instead, they're listening to someone tell them what the book says, which not always a good thing. Like, yeah, someone reading the book aloud to you and you listening, not really a problem. In the churches, they always read selective pieces because it's a business. They're earning money from you. You're putting money in the collection pot. And that's why you see these places make a lot of money. And a lot of that money goes to the head of the churches, which is the Pope. The Pope happens to be the head of all of the Abrahamic faiths, so I don't imagine it would be any different outside of the churches. The churches are just an easy one to point to because so many priests were done for child abuse. So imagine that, you're paying money to people that abuse your children. Now that's them flexing a level of control because people are caught in this, I think, cognitive dissonance. You can't imagine that something in your life that was fixed would suddenly appear to not be as fixed as you thought it was. A lot of people can't handle that. Their minds can't get around that. So they will deny and they will stamp their feet firmly into the ground and deny what is right in front of them because they can't accept that either they were fooled or that things aren't as they seem because they would lose the plot. That is their plot. And I don't want to make anyone lose the plot. I'm just expressing things that I've been able to observe through having many different paradigms of life been granted to me, through many different walks that I've traveled, many different people that have helped guide me along the way. I'm nothing special. In fact, I don't think those are the right words. We're all special in our own right, but nothing makes me more special than another person. Because I'm able to come on here every day and impart a little piece of myself with everyone else to share some of this information. It's not to say, I could be wrong. I'm just doing my best to share what has helped me in the past. And I think the truth is very freeing. Sometimes if you're able to get over something that is a contradiction in your own life, then you're able to ascend it and not get caught in that cognitive dissonance where you'll keep on doing something that's bad for you for refusal to accept the truth of the matter. And I know that I've got my flaws. Hell, when I started doing this juice fast or this solstice fast that turned into a water fast, the idea was I was going to do shorts and focus on the big videos. And here we are, 20 minutes into day 14, after doing many long videos, not putting much work into the structured videos that I wanted released. Like the Links and Dinks of the Fool is recorded now, I just need to edit it. But I've also been trying to spend time with my loved ones, spend time with my partner, spend time with my mum, watching Christmas movies or anime and playing Scrabble. As I do believe in doing things for love's sake, just for the sake of love, not for wanting to get anything out of it. But I don't think that it's wise to shun the people that I love in order to share the love, if that makes sense. I love sharing the love, but the people that I love in my life might not be here forever. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they won't be here forever in this realm, in this reality. I'm sure that I won't. But everything isn't so immediate. I'm comfortable in the knowledge that I'll still be posting out videos every day. And these videos will get out eventually. I don't imagine people are getting too upset waiting. At least not so much that it would override how good it feels to spend time just being present with your loved ones, just to put your phone down and not be doing anything. Actually be present in the room. That presence is a gift. And that is the best gift that you can give anybody, especially over Christmas. I think I do have inconsistencies that I'm going to try and work on because I'm not oblivious to these. I witness them as they happen. I recognize them and realize I've still got the same problems that I used to have. Shouldn't put times on things. When you put a deadline on something, it's almost like you're challenging the universe to make it not happen. Also, the secrets. When you've got something that you want to do and you want to manifest, you should keep it a secret. As soon as you announce that you're going to manifest it, the universe will make it harder for you. And I think that is part of Saturn's realm. Saturn is the ruler of karma. A lot of people put Saturn down as Satan, and it's this and that about him being pure evil and eating his children. Look at the horrible pictures. It's like, well, no, time consumes us all. Saturn is Father Time. That's the whole point of the eating the children. Not that you should go eat your children as a homage to Saturn. Now it works as Saturn is both the energies. Saturn is a reflection of Santa, so there's the karma for you. There's a nice list and a naughty list, and you don't really want to end up on the naughty list. And it's quite obvious when you watch other people's behavior from what you like seeing and don't like seeing as to what would end someone on the nice or naughty list. And I also get that it's not really our place to judge, as being in that judgmental frame of mind comes with its disadvantages. I say that how you judge others is how you will be judged. That's how the karma works. In the Lord's Prayer, they talk about forgiving our trespasses, and our trespasses will be forgiven. I've heard that it's forgive our debtors in the way our debts will be forgiven, but I remember it as trespasses. That's the one I'll stick with. And I think that it's nice to do things for love's sake rather than constantly having to look at the karma and look at what you get in return. Feels I'd quite like to be a good guy all year round, have my name on the nice list, yeah, but I don't really expect any presents. I don't feel like I need any presents. I feel like I'd be quite happy just knowing that I've done this for the sake of love, because love is powerful. Love is something that I love seeing in the world, and I love to see more of it in the world. And I would do my best to try and keep putting that out, because it's so easy not to. It's so easy to slip and start putting bad things out into the world. And that's not my intention, not with these videos and not with my day-to-day life. Doing my best to try and shed those aspects of my personality. And I enjoy it. I feel like originally I would have been quite happy to receive a Kundalini awakening and other things, but I don't think that it will really change things. I'm not looking to escape this world. I feel like we were put here for a reason, so why try and run away from it? I mean, we came here to do something, and if we keep trying to just escape the place, that's probably going to hinder us as well from being able to ascend this place, because we won't learn our lesson. Say, even if we did manage to find a cheat code and get out of here, we just have to come back and do it all over again, as we haven't learned the lesson. We haven't been enlightened. And I think that it's quite good to be enlightened, to feel the enlightening. I feel a lot more enlightened now than I did years ago. And I was looking into so many of these subjects years ago. But my actions didn't really match the things that I was looking up. And I think the enlightenment is not an escape from this world. The enlightenment itself isn't finding your way out of this world. It's just another step that you take so that you can be the enlightened one and shine brightly for others, so that they might follow in your footsteps and become enlightened themselves. Like a strange game of Othello. And I don't think that you're anything special for becoming enlightened. No more special than anyone else. It's like, what do you do when you become enlightened? There's an old Buddhist saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The idea of this is that your day-to-day chores will still be there after the enlightenment, just that you won't be suffering as such. You'll be able to do these tasks with more fulfillment in your heart, a better sense of being as you do it. I think that that quite aptly describes how I feel about becoming enlightened. It's something that, for me, it doesn't happen. It doesn't have to happen now. It doesn't have to happen in this life. It doesn't have to happen in the next life. I feel more enlightened than I was, but reaching peak enlightenment, it's not really what I'm striving for. If I'm not able to get there because I don't have the passion to get there, and so be it. I'll at least be doing my best to share my journey along the way. Someone out there might be able to ignite that passion and reach that height. And I imagine that they, like a few others whose stories I've heard, would not want to make the transition out of this world. They'd want to come back into this world and see if they could help others. Now, I'm not so big headed as to think that I'm on here on my YouTube channel saving people. I'm no spiritual leader or guru, just here to remind people of themselves and to share with you the knowledge that I've gained along the way, to share with you the journey that I'm on. But if I'm able to help people in the way that other people helped me in these videos that I used to watch, that makes my time worthwhile. I'd be happy to come back to this place time and time again, be dealt a bad hand of cards each time, if it means that I'll find enlightenment at some point and be able to share that, no matter what the size. I think that's part of my Aries side talking, very self-sacrificing. We're the ones that like to go ram our heads into the barriers to take down the barriers so that the other animals can get through. And we don't mind lying there with a headache and a concussion maybe. It's a very self-sacrificing sign. And I'm not making out here like I'm sacrificing much. I'm not sacrificing much, a little piece of my day. I mean, 30 minutes at the moment, but I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this kind of thing. I put my face to it because I think it's much better, feels more genuine. I'm not a person hiding behind this or that. I'm just a straight person. Here's my face. You've heard my name many times. I don't just call myself the Shinjitsu master. If anything, I feel like the Shinjitsu apprentice, still on my way to becoming the master. Well, I'd love it if that was the end of this YouTube journey, though I'd also be quite happy if it didn't end. But if I did get to a stage where, especially if it was in the middle of a live stream, be able to become fully enlightened, have my third eye fully switched on, demonstrate to people that it is possible. It would remove all doubt, like the 4-minute mile. Before someone managed to run the mile in 4 minutes, people didn't believe it was possible. And then after the first guy managed it, many people have broken that record. I think even I've run a mile in under 4 minutes before. When I was running, it was 3 laps around a block of, well, this track circuit that I'd created back in Dagenham, back in Nam, living there many years ago, training for the army. This was at 17. It's quite lucky I didn't get in. But the training, I was really adamant about doing it. And I was trying to run, I think, 10 miles, which involved going around this specific track 3 times exactly and trying to do it within a time limit. I'm pretty sure that dividing it, one of those miles would have been done in under 4 minutes, because it was something like 10 miles and I was trying to bring the time down to something like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And I definitely managed to get it under 10 minutes. No, it was definitely less than that. Anyway, it's irrelevant. The idea was that as soon as this guy had managed to break that barrier, everyone else after him managed to realize it was possible. Then they were able to believe it was possible, and then they were able to achieve it. I'd be happy to achieve that level of enlightenment in that regard, knowing that it would spread. But otherwise, I'm happy to just chop wood and carry water. I think the equivalent in this day and age would be tidy up, throw out your rubbish, look after yourself, wash, make good food, wash the dishes. Very simple, mundane tasks that still need doing, no matter how much ancient wisdom you manage to collect, no matter how much hermetic wisdom. It's not like we can all just suddenly become the all-seeing eye and command the housework to do itself like a Harry Potter movie. There's a certain level of physical energy that we've got to put in to keep things moving if we're to respect the physical world, which is Saturn's world, the ruler of karma. He's not an evil person. You might think that if you've been putting out bad energy and you've got some of it coming back to bite you in the bottom, it might feel like the world's against you. And it might be, but then you've been against the world, haven't you? Can't really complain. It's just balance. These things happen. I've suffered from it. I've put out plenty of bad in the world in my past, and I've had plenty of bad come back to me. Still don't feel like it's fully balanced. Still feel like I'm going to get plenty worse. But it shouldn't alter my path. Still feel like I want to carry on pursuing this, doing my best to keep going in a positive way. That even when my teeth start falling out through years of drug abuse, acid reflux from bad food choices, numerous other things, that's just karma. Why should I be able to turn the light on and ascend the pain when I could stay here and deal with the consequences of my choices to learn the lesson fully? So we can't take any of this material stuff with us when we leave, but we can take the experience and we can take the wisdom. And having something like that ingrained into your being might help you out for whatever the next stage is. I feel like that could definitely help me out. Yeah, I should probably talk about the fast. Wow, I've been nearly 40 minutes on just my thoughts on the day. So, not feeling the stomach pains as bad. Went to the gym earlier, wasn't trying to do anything too strenuous. It was just keeping to making sure that my body's still active. So I done like 27 reps, like 3 sets of 9 of bench press of just 50 kilograms. Didn't want to overdo anything. 14 kilogram dumbbells, just 27 reps each hand. Uh, a few, well, again, 27 pull-ups, 9 of the wide ones, 9 of the close ones, and then 9 of the ones where you turn your hand that way instead of that way. Can't remember the technical term. think it's military pull-ups when you're doing it like that, and regular pull-ups otherwise. Not entirely sure. Not that much of a gym head that I go deep into that side of the knowledge. I just like to do enough to keep my muscles active so that they don't start fading away. As I've had that in other fasts, I've ended up with losing quite a lot of muscle mass, thinking I'll just skip a few days and allow my body the time to recuperate. So I kept active and exercised and bought a few things for eating after Christmas or after the fast, just before Christmas, because I think my mind is still on the food, still somewhat obsessing in a way over what I'll be able to eat when I am able to eat again, or when I allow myself to, once the fast is over, whichever way. The pains have definitely subsided. Now a little bit of tingling in this area, and that's it. I imagine, oh, it does get worse when I do the washing up and I'm standing in the one position for too long, slightly hunched over. All of a sudden, at the end, I feel a crippling pain. But I imagine that will get a little bit easier as time goes on, especially the way that things have gone so far. I have a lot of faith in fasting, whether it works through the effect of the placebo or whether it's because the actual abstinence gives your body time to fix all these problems. The abstinence of food means that all of your little workers in there aren't busy digesting things for like however many meals a day, struggling to shovel it all down the GI tract and absorb all the nutrients from it. Instead of that, you've got all of this free time to go around and, I guess, chop wood and carry water. I also attempted to do the eardrops, the Otex eardrops that I got. Should have read the packet properly. Can't do it when you've got tinnitus. So that you need a doctor's recommendation if you're going to try it and you have tinnitus. So now I have to make a doctor's appointment, and I really don't enjoy going to the doctors. Don't have much faith in Western medicine, even as I was looking online of what they will offer you if you go to the doctors for tinnitus. The first two things were antidepressants and anti-anxiety tablets. Like, yeah, thanks, doc. Hope you get your commission for that. Then there was taking steps to calm yourself, be in a relaxed environment. I can do my own meditation, thank you. Been quite relaxed recently. Still got the ringing in my ears. Think it's from a build-up of wax. But I should go down and check it all with him just to make sure that there's not a chance I've got damage in there that will be affected if I start pouring this stuff in. Hopefully find a solution to it. It'd be nice to be able to hear properly. And I tried oil pulling for my teeth. So I went out and got some coconut oil. And it's been pretty good. I haven't felt much pain in the corner one. In fact, that's not hurting now. That's still fine. There's another one here that had a little bit of twinge of pains. So that eased off for a while. Can feel it again now. Should probably do it again before I go relax for the evening. I find that that seems to have some level of uh, credibility to it. I think the using The coconut oil is the one that really does the trick because it has lauric acid in it naturally, and the lauric acid is used to help clean the area. It's like a antimicrobial substance. So it's nice to have some good results from that. And I'm not as hungry as I was yesterday. Yesterday I was feeling very hungry. Today I'm actually quite content. Just of the mind. See a lot of food in animes. There's always people eating food, and it's Japanese food, and I love Japanese food. So yeah, in terms of the question that I've heard asked is like, would you give up everything but fruit if it meant that you could fully heal your body? And as much as I'd like to say, yeah, still feel that there's a lot of my journey that's still going to involve eating these foods that I like and sharing these moments with my loved ones. Eating lots of curries. I can't wait to go back to the curries. There's so much I want to try. I even applied for a few jobs earlier today that were vegan cooking or kitchen jobs that would give me the foot in the door towards vegan cooking. I'd like to learn as much as I could about vegan cooking to get better at cooking for myself. Excuse the sniffing, not got a cold. This ear's popped. That's better. Yeah, I've applied for a few. Be quite happy if they come through. I imagine I'm still not going to be working before January, but it'd be nice to be doing something like that and still do the videos rather than try to make the videos a full-time thing or finding another job in construction or something. It's quite depressing these days considering the good old British firms that you used to have where the manager would come round and ask everyone how they're doing, go out and buy fish and chips for people if they were staying late to help finish something. Management in these places now are far from that. It's all corporations now, or corpses. And a corpse is a dead body. I realized I had a little advantage in the job search as been vegan for 3 years. I could actually go on the vegan job site. I'd be quite happy if I get one of those jobs, especially one of them. It's working for an Indian place. Be able to learn how to cook proper curries. Be able to learn a lot more. My partner already knows a lot about Asian cooking, being Chinese. I'd love to be able to expand my knowledge on Indian cooking, especially vegan Indian cooking. I'll be able to share that with people. Who knows what the future might hold in store, but those would be amazing skills that I'd love to pick up. So yeah, nearly at 50 minutes now, so I'm going to cut this one here, but thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for more.